Good morning, students. Today we will see about tetralogy of Fallot, which is a one kind of cyanotic heart disease which is caused come under the category of congenital heart disease. The word itself says tetralogy, it means four, and Fallot is the name of a scientist. So here is a complex of four abnormalities are seen together in the baby since birth. So a complex of several congenital defects together and abnormal development of the fetus during the first 8 weeks of pregnancy will leads to development of this TOF. We will see each one in detail that which four TOF defect will be seen in TOF. Number one will be ventricular septal defect. Number two will be pulmonary valve stenosis. Number three will be overriding aorta, and number fourth is right ventricular hypertrophy. So as we all know that ventricular septal defect is basically a defect in between the two ventricles between the right and left, and as we know that ventricular septal defect is also having a three different kind of defects depends on its location and depends on where it is affecting. So if you see the types will be considered as supracrystal VSD, membranous VSD and muscular VSD. So supracrystal VSD will occur just beneath the aortic valve at the left ventricular outflow tract. Due to stenosis in the pulmonary artery, right ventricle has to work hard to push the blood inside the lungs and thereby increasing the right ventricular pressures and increasing the size of the right ventricle. So presence of the VSD will also facilitate the more blood to pass from the right ventricle into the left ventricle, and there will be a mixing of blood will takes place in the left ventricle. Deoxygenated blood inside the right ventricle will push inside the left ventricle where the pure oxygenated blood is coming from the left atrium. Overriding of aorta sits above both the right and left ventricle over the VSD rather than just over the left ventricle. As on result, oxygen poor blood from the right ventricle can directly flow into the aorta instead of going to the pulmonary artery and to the lungs, which ultimately decreasing the pulmonary blood flow, and poorly oxygenated blood is circulating out of the body and which leads to development of cyanosis. So if you see, the cyanosis will include about bluish coloration of the skin, lips, nail beds, and occurs such activity along with the crying or feeding. And along with this cyanosis, other symptoms will have about irritability, lethargic, reduced physical activity, fainting, and clubbing of the nail buds and finger and toes, and breathing issues with the child whenever he go for any kind of physical exertion or play activity. This is how the complete complex pathology will affect the overall growth of child and leads to development or treatment of this kind of disease. During physical examination, especially on the auscultation, an ejection systolic murmur is present in the left parasternal region on third intercostal space because of pulmonary stenosis. Okay, along with the different kind of chest X-ray will reveal about the cardiomegaly or the size of the heart will be increased. ECG changes will be noted, and along with the cardiac catheterization and Doppler studies, we will know well to know about how exactly the which defect affect more and which defect is affect less, and require a management with a surgical repair only. Surgical repair can be taken between the age of 6 to 18 months of the age which involve the closure of VSD first with tangential patch to correct the override of pulmonary stenosis and relieve the with the patch. Other defect will continue to correct with the surgical procedure and getting the quality of life of the children. As a part of physiotherapy part, we have to look more forward the post-surgical rehabilitations, which will be mostly done after the surgery, and this will include about from day 1 to day 7 procedure inside the ICU, and after that, after the discharge of ICU, we have to take care of the OPD basis or IPD basis. Initially, we have to start with such kind of positioning to avoid the pulmonary congestions or sputum, and the sputum has been removed with the postal drainage, and in case of severe sputum we require suction procedure also. In case of post-surgical rehabilitation, especially during the ICU, we have to take care of all kind of respiratory compliance should be maintained, and the splintage should be taught or belt should be applied if the child is of less age or less than 2 years of age when the normal milestone has not developed. Then cuffing technique with the proper splintage or belt will be applied to avoid the burden over the surgical site. And as the child is more of 2 years of age and patient is independently walking and understanding certain amount of language, then we can start slowly and progress them to the basic active range of motion exercises, especially in play therapy mode. And after that, as the patient is progressing well, then we can start with the play therapy and basic activity, which includes uh, all kind of combination of upper limb and lower limb, and some kind of aerobic exercise to be taught. And when patient is well tolerated and cooperative, then we can start with the pediatrics bicycling, then bicycle ergometer and treadmill training to reach the maximum aerobic capacity of the subject during after the surgery, and is to see that whether the heart is progressing well after the surgery. This is along with all kind of exercise, patient diet and nutrition is also important to get, because it's a growing age we require, which is required more than adult kind of dietary plan to cope up with the physical exertion activity. This is how complete post-operative TOF can be managed easily. Thank you. Second type of VSD, which include about the membranous VSD, which is the most common type of VSD and originate inferior to the crista supraventricularis. And third type of VSD, which include about muscular VSD, which occurs in the mid to apical intravertical septum in the muscles. The second defect will include about the pulmonary stenosis. So as we all know that pulmonary stenosis is a decrease in the lumen size of the diameter in the pulmonary valve. So pulmonary valve is located on the right side of the heart in the right ventricle, from where blood is getting pushed into the pulmonary artery, which carries the deoxygenated blood. So whenever there is a decrease in the ventilation, and because of that there will be less amount of blood will go in a pulmonary circulation, and there will be increasing the volume in the right ventricle and ultimately producing the more pressure on the right side of the heart and ultimately affecting pulmonary mass. The third one is an overriding aorta. So if we know that overriding of aorta will ultimately affecting your circulations over the pulmonary arteries and ultimately affecting the decrease in the volume and the lungs. Next, last type is considered as right ventricular hypertrophy. So because of massive pressure from the right ventricular septal defect and pulmonary stenosis, there will be high amount of pumping will be produced from the right ventricles to push the blood in the pulmonary circulation, and because of that it leads up in a problem is known as right ventricular hypertrophy.